Hello everyone, welcome to our 8-part Euclidean Geometry grade 11 lesson. Alright, this video will be part 1 and we'll be covering all these topics. So first of all, we'll start with terminology of circle. That's a revision from grade 8, 9 and 10 just to check if we still remember what is a circle, what is a circumference and all that nice stuff. We will then move on to theorems covering the perpendicular from a center to a chord. That's the first theorem. The second one is perpendicular by a sector of a chord. The third one is an angle at a center is twice an angle at the circumference. The fourth one is angles in the same segment. The fifth one is opposite angles of a cyclic chord. The sixth one is tangent from the same point. And finally, the last one is tan-chord theorem. We'll then look at summary of exercises that we can cover. So let's go for it. Okay, so when you click this link, once I send you these videos or once I send you these notes, when you click that recap geometry basic reasons, it'll take you to a link that I've uploaded. It'll also take you to parallel lines as a recap. Okay, let's start with a terminology of a circle. So as you can see on the right hand side, I have a segment. So the segment is that dark part over here. All right, we're looking at this part. I'm highlighting this with a red color. So that is a segment, and the line that draws that segment, it is a chord. All right. Then we're looking at a diameter. We know what is a diameter, radius, and a tangent. So let's make sure that we understand all the terminology. So a circle, what is a circle? The set of points equidistant from the center. So what does this mean? It means all the points from the center that are exactly the same. And you can achieve this using a radius. So a radius, it is a straight line segment that joins the center of a circle to any point on the circle. Already are equal in length. So remember, this is just a revision, guys. It's just to remind you of what we are going to be using to answer these theorems, right? Again, I'm drawing that circle, and now we are looking at a diameter. What is a diameter? So a formal definition of a diameter is that it's a straight line segment that joins 2 points on a circle. Right? So if, for instance, you're looking at this point and that point, you want to join them on any point on the circumference. Once you join them through the center, remember the important thing is the straight line segment that joins 2 points on the circle and passes through the center of a circle. It is important that it passes through the center of the circle. That's how you're going to achieve a diameter. So any 2 points that you choose, as long as you pass through the center. So let's say if I want to choose this one, does this qualify as a diameter? No, it does not qualify as a diameter. That's another thing that we have drawn is an arc. But enough about that. We'll get to arcs once we get to that point. The circumference. What is a circumference? A circumference is a measure of the length of the perimeter of the circle. So we're talking about the outside part. The outside part, that's the circumference of a circle. Remember, this session should be serving as a revision for you. And we have a specific formula for that says C for circumference is equals to 2 pi r. So it's 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. So you would have that once you know what is a pi, you punch in your calculator. Pi is given by 3,14. It's a long number. It is an irrational number. All right, the radius will be given. Once you get all those two important points, you just multiply them by 2, then you'll get your circumference. All right, good stuff. Again, I'm drawing this circle with all these important measurements and everything. So what we are going to do is we're going to look at a chord. Sorry, I was just disturbed by a phone there. So a chord, a line segment that joins any 2 points on a circle, right? A chord is a line that joins any 2 points on a circle, right? However, a diameter, it is a chord that passes through the center of a circle. So what does this mean? If you are looking at a chord, right? it says a line that joins any 2 points. Remember, it must be a line, right? The one that we drew earlier, it was moving from here and going from there. So you can see that once I've done that, and it's not a line, so you basically have 2 lines here. This one will qualify as an arc, but we'll get to it. So what I'm basically saying there is a diameter is a special chord. It is a special chord because, again, I'm joining any 2 points on the circumference, right, on a circle, right? So a diameter is a special chord, right? It's a special chord because of with the diameter, it is important that you pass through the center. That's the other condition. So a diameter is a special chord. However, a normal chord that we know, it will be any 2 points as long as it is a line. Joining any 2 points must be a line. I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about an arc, because that's very important as well. So what is an arc? So an arc, it's a part of a circle, right? A chord, if you like, that cuts the circle into a minor and major arc. Does that make sense? Let's read through it again to see if we understand. What is an arc? So it is a part of a circle. It's a certain part of a circle, only a certain part of a circle, right? It has to be only a part of a certain circle. So you can see from here, this, what I've done, it's like I'm taking a slice of a pizza, right? So the arc will be the outside part, right? This part outside here, which means the crust of a pizza, right? The outside part, not the inside, not all the goody stuff inside there. So that is what we call an arc, right? It cuts a circle into a minor and a major arc. So this one is a minor arc, and the rest up until there, that is a major arc, right? We only want the outside part. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about a segment, right? What is a segment, right? Because we've covered a chord, we've covered a diameter, we have covered an arc, right? We have not covered a segment. What is a segment, right? A segment is a part of an interior of a circle cut by a line intersecting it. So I'm talking about this dark part. I'm talking about the dark part, right? So a chord cuts the interior of a circle into a minor and a major segment. So this chord that we're talking about here, this is a segment, the dark part, and the rest